been watching because he was like on there at 4:32.
Oh, well, maybe well, if he is watching. Hey, everybody, this is Matt, and we are live at the Texas Toast Factory. It's not really a factory, it's the Texas Toast Shop, and we are live. This is our Sunday podcast. We do these every Sunday at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, and to my right, your left is Chris, and working the boards, of course, is the lovely and talented Mrs. Texas Toast. And we already have a question, and it is from Alan Libby, and he wants to know if I've forgotten about him. And no, the answer is, no, I have not forgotten about him. I need your address, Alan. And as soon as I get the address, I can send the stuff to you. So if you are watching, please email me your address. And if you are not watching,
he says when you get a chance, you need to check your email.
But what I mean is, if you are watching, send it to me. And if you are not watching, I will do what you asked me to do.
Jocelyn Creative got his Texas Toast shirt yesterday.
Are you wearing it right now? So Goslin Creative, I thought Goslin Creative was a different person, a lady, but that's actually Paul. Paul Creative. No. It's the so I thought that was somebody else, but it's not, and I'm glad you got your shirt. So are you sporting it right now? It looks just like Chris's. I have speaking of people that I need your address, Gary Cherry, I don't need your address, but I need to know what size shirt you want, because you never told me what size you wanted. Or if you did, I'm too stupid to find it in the email or the order thing or whatever it was, but I could just guess. I'm not doing that. You want the shirt that you want, right? So anyway, today I'm sporting a Gretsch shirt. Fred Gretsch gave this to me personally.
He actually did.
He actually did.
And he signed your poster.
He did, yes. And everybody else who was there, he personally gave them a shirt too and signed their poster.
Mm-hmm. Keep rocking.
Actually, mine says, "Fuck you, cock breath, Fred Gretsch."
I really hope it says that, but I don't think
it doesn't. It says like, yeah, to a fine young feller, keep on rocking. It doesn't.
Could you personalize this for me there, Fred? Yep.
But my my first edition copy of Rogue Warrior is signed by Richard Marchenko, and it actually is signed "Fuck you, cock breath," which is if you read that book, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then it's just this weird thing that Matt talks about, and there's a lot of that stuff. You're like a cat with those little boing things on the door, yeah, or a puppy. Can you hear that in the thing? What Chris is doing, or can you hear it in the headphones?
I hear everything.
So thanks for joining us, everybody. And Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Podcast time. I'm good too. I'm a little bit bummed out because I think I wrecked the refrigerator. No, I'm a little bummed out because I know I wrecked the refrigerator. And but there's lots of other good stuff happening this week. I don't even know. There's so much good shit. I don't even know where to begin. There's that much good shit. So
we painted the single brightest color you will ever see.
Well, so this is the first.
It's like the eclipse.
Yeah.
You can look at it for a little while and you don't realize it's damaging your cornea.
Yeah.
But then every time you blink, you see the shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's that bad.
Once you realize it's fucking with you, it's too.
You're fucking with me right now. It's not. So this is the first week of full-time guitar shop. Mm-hmm. And it's going really great. So thanks to everybody who's supporting us. And we got a couple new orders this week, and I'm actually working on a third. You know, taking orders from custom orders from people that's a big job. You gotta, spend a lot of time dotting the T's and crossing the I's. And yes, I did need to do that. So, especially when it's someone's guitar that's wacky, like the guy who I'm working with right now is a local guy, and he wants an Explorer shape, which we call the Adventurer. And he wants a 25-inch scale, alder body, maple neck. He wants some other wacky thing too that I can't remember what it was. I have it written down so I don't have to remember, but it's cool because it's a custom thing that you can't just go buy, an Explorer that has that scale and that body wood and that other kind of stuff. So anyway, he wants it because he wants it, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, so we painted some really cool guitars this week. One is so pink that Mrs. Texas Toast won't be shitting right for a week. Wait, that's a different thing.
I have no problem.
Yeah, that's right. You won't see correctly for a while. And then we painted another one that's and that's for Chris from the Born Readies. If you like any of the stuff, there's quite a few songs that we use that are Born Ready songs in some of the other videos, and so check those dudes out. One is another adventurer guitar that has an olive drab top with a natural to sunburst back for Bart from Throttle Bomb, Pitch Invasion, Messiah Vor, and what's that other band?
Valduran.
Yeah, that other band that I can't pronounce the name.
I think I said it right.
I think you did too, yeah. Yeah, anyway, if Bart's watching, maybe he can give us a pronunciation email. Anyway,
and
whatever.
if he's not, what the fuck is this?
I don't know, yeah. Bart is the, you've probably seen Bart in the videos. He runs the Crash Pad Studio, and he's a monster player, and he might be going with us to the NAMM show. That'd be cool. Speaking of the NAMM show, we've got a bunch of new hotness that we are going to be taking to the NAMM show. We got a bunch of necks glued in, and
it's not old and busted.
No, it's not old.
New hot.
Yeah, and they're going to be there. It's going to come down to the wire, I think, to get them finished. But we are going to try.
And too stupid to say.
No, what is it?
We can control the hotness. I know a place that can't control the hotness, but we can control the hotness.
So many times it's so hard to dial down Foxy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't.
For you, it is. Yeah,
we can't control the hotness.
I have no control over the Foxy. Yeah, it's usually none. So I've gotten a bunch of emails with people asking me. I don't want to do Patreon, but I want to support you guys and help you get to Nashville. Have I told you about those?
I think you might have mentioned something about it.
If you are one of those people, stay tuned for our GoFundMe campaign that we are going to be launching this coming week, and that's going to help us get to Nashville and get there and stay there and come back and have me not be in the poorhouse when it's all said.
Yeah, I think getting there is easy. It's getting back.
That's a getting back thing. Yeah.
It's a little tougher.
So these are all things that are going on in the shop. This, what do you think of this cuckoo guitar that's right between us, Chris?
Well, I've seen it.
Yeah, but what do you think of it?
That's cool.
It's wacky. This is a zebra wood, kind of a 4001 shape, but it's a guitar. I think we might have had this. We might have shown this one other time on the podcast.
We might have, yeah.
So are there any questions or anything we need to take care of before we get cracking with the topic?
There's stuff going on.
Okay. Thanks everyone for joining us. Apparently there's stuff going on. We don't know what it is.
Way to go, guys.
As always, we have no idea what the comments are,
nope.
and Mrs. Texas Toast feeds those to us as she sees fit.
And as soon as the camera goes on, I clam up. All of a sudden, I'm like,
not me.
You're like Cindy Brady on the Quiz Bowl.
Yeah.
Quiz Bowl.
You were too concerned with how your hair looked and the dress you were wearing.
Well, I was concerned with my hair earlier. Yeah.
Instead of the substance of your personality.
So
now.
Being Cindy Brady.
Yeah.
Anyways, Carl Engstrom says, that's pretty wood behind y'all.
That is zebra wood. Oh, you know what? Did I tell everybody that I talked to Philip Bruce Clay last week? I think I did because Master Luthier Bruce Clay. Yeah.
He did actually mention that.
He's like the Yoda.
He's your Yoda.
Yeah. He used to tell me that they called this zebra wood because zebras urinated on the tree. And it smells like pee when you cut it, but I have absolutely I don't believe that it's streaked like this because of zebra pee. That's just hogwash. Come on, Bruce. I hope Bruce doesn't believe that. I think he was just messing with my head.
He was telling us like you're curious.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for everyone telling me I'm a stupid idiot. So anyway, thanks for So thanks everybody for tuning in, and let's get right down to it. Unless there's anything we need to do right now, is there anything we need? We send shout outs to Germany before we irritate anybody or anything like that? Or what's that? Carry on.
What?
Is there anything? Mrs. Texas Toast went out for brunch today, and it tied one on. So it's gonna be a fun fun thing where everybody's gonna like, hear stories about how much of an idiot I am, and yeah. So anyway.
What?
And this is a great topic today for me to tell everyone how much of an idiot I am, and because it's about buyer's remorse. Do you ever have buyer's remorse, Chris, when you buy a guitar?
Yes, I have had buyer's remorse in the past.
Now let's add a wrinkle, and this is your wrinkle. You're like, what about seller's remorse? And I'm like, ooh, I have way more seller's remorse than I do buyer's remorse.
I think we should talk about buyer's remorse first.
Okay, you got something you want to go with? I think you have a story that you want to tell that's kind of about buyer's remorse with the last person that you sent a Yamaha to.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Let's.
You want to save that, or you want to pass or play? Okay,
let's save that.
Oh, I remember the way. Here's another thing. Never mind.
No, let's tell that story because it'll only take a minute, and it was really entertaining. And that was maybe the highlight of the week.
Yes,
for me.
So Bart McCrory came over and his Adventurer guitar was getting paint, and I'm like, well, you need to go pick the paint. So we went to Finish Masters here in Arvada, and the people at Finish Masters, depends on which one you go to and where you go and when you go and who you actually talk to, is the amount of surly customer service that you get. That's fair, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This Finish Master near you,
particularly surly.
It's the same person every time when I go in.
What happened to the old crotchety old fart guy that
I don't know. Maybe he
retired.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's retired.
Maybe he leaves early. Maybe he's sitting in back.
Maybe.
You know, we don't know. But
he was definitely, he had like the record for crotchety. And now they've got this lady who works there. Anyway, so long story short. Well, long story, slightly shorter, not short. Bart, thank you. Bart asks for. He was like, I want this paint, and she's like, well, do you want it in the DBC or the?
She said,
okay. You kind of spoiled the whole moment of the story there.
That's my job.
Why you should be on this side of the camera? If you're so smart.
All right.
You want to do that?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So anyway, well, yeah. So Mrs. Texas just already blew the whole thing.
Well, do you have
she
paint
shit the bed.
Yeah, I'd like to get some paint samples. We don't have paint samples. And I said, no, he'd like to look at some colors so he can pick a color.
Mm-hmm.
What color? Kind of an olive drab kind of a color. So she goes in back and starts to look through the big file of colors and gets lost or confused. And she pulls out this book that I've been looking at since the late 80s,
this
I think.
Rickety old book.
Yeah, all the pages are blown out and torn out.
And it's thin too. It wasn't a whole lot.
No, it's got most of the colors in it, or at least,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But it's not everything they have. And
nowhere close.
Bart says, or you said, is this it? She says, no, we have every color.
No, we have every color ever imagined by any human being ever in the world. And I'm like, in this book? Yeah.
This 30-page book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Bart picks out his color.
Really, really underwhelming, the color choices that she gave us. So.
Yeah. And so Bart picks out his color and says, now which paint do I want? And well, give us a price for
there's
Deltron
no
product,
prices on anything,
and give me a price for Omni, and we need like a half a pint. We don't need very much because we're just painting a guitar top. It's not, we're not painting a car.
Yeah, we're not painting a Cutlass Sierra.
Yeah, and I think that irritated her.
She probably drives a Cutlass.
And then now you can tell the rest.
Oh, so she says, well, it's $60 for DBC and $30 for Omni, and Bart goes, well, what's the difference besides $30? And she's like, DBC's top of the line, as if to say that the Omni paint is nothing but a pile of shit.
Mm-hmm.
They have two kinds of paint. One is awesome and one sucks the big lolly. And if you want, I'm like, well, wait a minute, there's nothing in it. So anyway, the lady at Finish Masters was definitely not happy to see 4 deadbeats walking in. I think I had cut off shorts on too. So we did not look like we were going to spend a lot of money. And
I'll be darned if we didn't.
$30 is $30. I'll be darned if we didn't.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes when you cross over industries like that, and the people like are very correctly assumed that you are not their average customer, and they're like, why do I need to spend any time, dealing with this yacht?
Well, so the other lady went in back and started mixing the paint, and another guy came in and started talking to the surly lady, and they had basically the exact same conversation.
What's the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference? This one is top of the line. The other one is bottom of the line.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no middle. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what does that mean? Top of the line.
Shout out to the people at Finish Masters. Hey, one more thing that we're already 15 minutes in, and we haven't talked about buyer's remorse except for just a second. But I did talk to Cheryl at Bitterroot Guitars, our industry partner, and they've got some super cool, new, exciting stuff that I'm going to try, and I'm going to tell you guys about. And I want to see if I can maybe get some of these things to show you. They've got a bunch of bone pre-cut pre-cut nuts that for Fender and basses and guitars and Gibson guitars. They also have.
I didn't know they had those.
It's a brand new thing. Pre-cut nut.
Nut slot.
Nut slot. Yeah, I like pre-cut nut better. But so they also have. So that's a brand new thing that they're working on, and we're going to see if we can get Cheryl to send us some of those to show you guys. They also have 300 brand new Mighty Mite Fender licensed necks.
Oh, cool.
And I think they start at like 99 bucks. And don't forget, if you type in TX Toast when you make your order at Bitterroot Guitars, you get 15% off. So check out Bitterroot Guitars, and if you're looking for a Fender licensed replacement neck, they got them. So thanks, Cheryl, for letting us know that. And like I said, guys, I'm going to try and get some of those things in my hot little hands so I can show you more than just tell you. But you know what a Fender neck looks like, you know what a nut blank looks like. So
and because it's licensed stuff, it'll actually look like the real thing.
Well, yeah. I think their bone nuts that they have are they're reverse engineered from the Tusk line, and I think they have some people in the Orient making those for them.
Oh,
yeah. So check them out.
More than anything, bone is bone is bone.
They have cows in the Orient.
Yeah, presumably. Right? Yes, they do.
Asian cows.
Yeah, does Bitterroot have a theme song? We should write them a theme song. BITTER root. Something like that.
That's a good one so far. It looks like you are very pleased with yourself and you have something to say.
No, I have a comment that I would very much like to read.
Is it a salty one?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Already?
So that guy Stone said, "You're not just an idiot. You're a cuckold."
A cuckold?
So I looked up the definition of cuckold. Ready for this?
Sure.
A man whose wife is sexually unfaithful, often regarded as an object of derision.
Wow.
Wow.
So not only am I an idiot, but you're a hua, according to this guy. That guy.
So that makes me a slut, but.
Wow.
What a dick. Usually I'm not even going to talk about. I like the part where he's actually decided to tune in. I mean, is he watching?
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's got fucking orange fingers.
But I mean, it's a comment today. It's not a.
Yeah. Oh, this is live.
It's live. Yeah. So he's watching. Yeah. He's got so much other stuff to do that he's watching this video.
5:09.
That's funny.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, maybe he just posted and ghosted, or maybe he's still watching. So anyway, whatever your name is, thanks for that. That's really cool, dude. So anyway, let's get down to the topic of the day, and that's buyers, and we're going to also include sellers' remorse.
Do you have buyer's remorse on your wife? Because I'm such a
good. Did somebody say that too?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I've had buyer's remorse, and I think usually it's when I try and I buy the thing that isn't as good as probably what I should, or if I buy something because it's such a good deal, I can't pass it up, even though it's not really something that I want.
See, it always happens to me, like when I save up to buy something super cool and I get it and I'm like, wah, wah.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. Some of my favorite stuff is stuff that you just sort of trip into and didn't actually realize you were going to like it. I bought a, when guitar stores used to open, they'd always have a really good, opening sales. Yeah. And I bought a Stratocaster one time at when it was Musician's Friend actually had stores here in town, and I bought a Stratocaster that almost immediately I decided I didn't like it.
Now you are not
super bummed
really
out about
super
it.
fan of Strats anyway.
No, but at that point, this was really, really early on, and I thought I did like Strats, but I didn't really like that one. And then another time and it was basically the same thing. Mars Music opened up, and they had some really good deals, and I went in and I bought a Nashville Telly because I thought you got to have a Telly too.
And if you're gonna have a Telly, why not have one that says Nashville?
And I distinctly remember standing there paying for it, thinking this is the dumbest guitar I've ever bought. And I don't know why, but
you hadn't even bought it yet.
Right. Yeah.
You could have backed out.
I could have. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'll like it.
Give yourself a chance to like it.
When really it was just all about the deal and what I thought I was, I'm getting a lot of guitar for not a lot of money.
Do you have more buyer's remorse or more seller's remorse?
I think I probably get more buyer's remorse. I buy and sell a ton of guitars now.
Okay.
A couple a month, 4 a month, something like that sometimes. So and it's gotten easier to sell stuff too. So if you buy something that you don't like, you just flip it.
You don't have to take an ad out in the classified section. Kids, before there was such a thing called the Craigslist that you had to figure out some way to get rid of this stuff.
Yeah, and it was by the letter. And so you'd have to try and figure out how to tell as much about the item as you could. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, classifieds used to be pretty expensive.
And a few years ago, I decided that I didn't decide. I needed the money, so I decided to sell my first vintage Fender Jaguar that I had restored.
Okay.
And as I was selling it, I was feeling really bad about it, and I can't believe I have to sell this, I got to pay the mortgage, and I finally sold it.
Top of the line.
And then a week later, I was like, I feel okay about it. I guess, I kind of miss it, but I kind of don't. You can always buy other guitars. And it's a pretty distinctive guitar, and it popped back up on Reverb like 2 months ago. And I saw it, and so I got a hold of the guy who had bought it from the guy I sold it to, and asked him if he bought it from this other guy. And he said, yeah. And I was like, well, I'm the guy that restored it and blah blah blah, and I might be interested in buying it back. What would your best price be? And he gave me a price, and I was like, I don't like that guitar.
Crushing, devastating price.
Yeah. Who cares? I'll build another one, or I'll buy another one. So.
I don't really recall any specific buyer's remorse, but I know it's a thing.
How about
on the seller's remorse? Ken Tipton's like never had any buyer's remorse, but had lots of sellers.
Lots and lots and lots. My biggest seller's remorse story.
For the computer.
Yeah, so in 1988, I bought a used Paul Reed Smith. I had to drive to Dallas to get it because they didn't have any in Amarillo. There was no such thing as a Guitar Center in Amarillo then. And I really wanted one because they were popular, but they weren't like there was no Nickelback or whatever the fuck, guys playing Paul Reed. So not everybody had a Paul Reed Smith, and I really, really wanted one.
Thank God there's Nickelback that we can play any sucky song I hear.
Yeah, you can blame it on Nickelback.
Fucking Nickelback.
Yeah. So anyway, I drove down to Dallas and I found the guitar that I thought I really wanted, which was at the time, this would have been 1988 when they were still being built, in the original factory. And I found one that I had the money for it, and it was an all mahogany one. It was translucent emerald green. And so I'm like, okay, that's the one I'm going to get. And I remember I came back to Amarillo, and the guy, I didn't buy it, but I'm like, that's the one I'm going to get. And I came back to Amarillo, and I talked to the guy on the phone, and he's like, hey, we just got a used, now this was in 1988, we just got a used maple top red standard. It didn't have birds, it had the dots, but they were like moon. So like if you imagine a full moon or a crescent moon, half of the moon part was like in pearl, and the rest of the dot was in abalone. And it was super, super cool, beautiful guitar. And it had to have been made, knowing now what I know about those guitars, it was made with, the copy carver, and it was made when they were making 200 a a month or whatever, and because like I say, it was used in '88. So anyway, and I sold it for $1,000. And you know what I did with the money? I bought a computer because I needed a computer.
You sound like Ferris Bueller.
Oh man,
Jimmy got a car.
Yeah, I got a computer. Yeah, I'll smoke a turd in hell for that deal. But anyway, yeah, it was an awful deal, and I wish I knew now what I knew then.
Yeah.
Wait, then what I know now.
You wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah, well, you sometimes you gotta. Yeah, I sold way more guns than guitars that I missed. But yeah, that PRS was, and it probably wouldn't have been worth like crazy money right now, but it's just neat. So anyway,
yeah.
So we'd love to hear you guys' stories about buyer's remorse and seller's remorse.
Seymour Glass says he's remorsed about buying a Hendrix reverse neck strap. His Squire with the Dominger pickups blows it away. So
was that one of the like 10 years ago they had the black ones and the white ones, and it's a right-handed strap, but it's got a lefty.
So you look like Hendrix at Montrose.
Yeah, and I think that's about it. It might have a reversed bridge pickup as well. I had one of those.
Oh yeah, and is the tremolo arm on the top instead of the bottom?
Really? It's in the right spot.
Man, yeah, come on.
But
I remember hearing people say, "Oh, dude, the reason that Stevie Ray sounds like Stevie Ray is because his tremolo is upside down. He actually has." Come on, really? That's why Stevie Ray sounds good. And if you had that, you'd sound just like Stevie Ray. No,
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that to be true.
Anybody else have any?
Well, Ben Mosey, I'm going to consolidate two comments. Was he had not had buyer's remorse because he's a hoarder.
Okay, you have to be these days.
But has seller remorse. He sold his first electric and his Marshall TSL 602. His first guitar was okay, an Epiphone LP custom with the proper headstock.
Mm-hmm.
But he would buy it back.
He would?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's probably more selling remorse than buying remorse when it comes to guitars, because guitars are cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you just get like something that like you said, unless you just buy something, you're like, I'm gonna buy this.
I've gone into places and had money in my pocket and been like, I am going to buy a guitar today
for some reason.
Yeah. Here we go, and ended up with some stuff that was like. Yeah.
I have done that. I have done that very specific thing. I've done that very same thing myself. And sometimes it works out great.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like, whatever.
Yeah, or you get a wild hair and all of a sudden you have a Schecter.
All of a sudden with like stripper inlay.
Yeah.
Remember those? I don't.
Yeah. And you just feel sick to your stomach as you're doing it.
And you walk out with a Schecter. Not the cool Pete Townshend Telecaster Schecter.
Yeah, I bought a 64 Jazzmaster. And it was the most expensive guitar I've ever bought. Yeah. And I was feeling buyer's remorse as I was standing there paying for it.
So this happens a lot then. You have buyer's remorse as you're like getting out the credit card.
Well, yeah. So no, because I thought about it, and really I thought this is like it's a neat guitar.
Yeah.
I've watched this guitar because it had been in the shop a couple of times before, and they would call me up and I'd come and look at it. And the first time I was like, nah, it's too expensive, and it came back again. And then the third time I bought it, and it was like $3,000. It was a lot of money at that point because it was like $3,200 with tax. And I got it home, and it was so cool. I no longer had the buyer's remorse.
Okay.
I really liked it, and I kept it for a lot longer than I should have. And I sold it, and I bought a Buick Electra 2 1/4.
Ooh, and you drove it here today.
I did. Yeah, I sold that that guitar and bought the car.
Sweet.
So.
Sweet.
But $3,000 for a used guitar that's kind of beat up. It was not the nicest one on the market, especially when I bought it. That was a lot of money for a guitar. Mm-hmm. So
we're hoping to sell guitars for at least that much.
Well, yeah. But they're not all beat up.
No.
So,
Mrs. Texas,
and the market has changed a lot since then.
Well, faculty links. AKA
Scary
Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
What size shirt?
So here's the problem with him.
Oh.
He has seeks my image out.
Yeah.
He's stalking me on the internet.
Yeah.
Now he knows what I look like.
Yeah.
So he must soon be.
Well, I know that you're trying to sound cool when you say it like that, but does everyone know that Mrs. Texas doesn't normally sound like that? it's usually this. Hey, Matt, shut up. Mind your business. Do this thing that I want you to do. Take out the garbage.
I don't say mind your business.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so he says that he's got an SG with 5-way switch and 4 push-pulls that nobody can figure out.
Yeah.
And he's wondering if that's buyer's remorse.
No, that's just a weird combination of controls. And it would be easy to put it to normal. It would be very easy to put that to normal, actually. Depending on what 5-way switch it is, I guess.
Or you could get Brian Nutter to rewire it, and it would.
It would be even kookier.
It probably already does everything and anything you want it to do.
You know, it occurs to me there's another kind of remorse for buying remorse, and that's stuff that you didn't buy that you wish you would have, and then you go back to the store and it's gone.
Yeah.
That thing's been here for 5 years, and now it's gone. I should have bought it.
Jeez.
I should have bought that thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah, I think I probably missed out on deals. Yeah.
I think when I think about it, there's so many cool guitars that I should have bought that 82 Modern that they had at Randy's Music Mart. I should have bought that Hamer Steve Stevens that they had at the same store. I should have bought that lower 48 Gibson guitar that looked like the United States that they had. I should have bought that. There's so many cool things I should have bought. I never bought.
Yeah. I've owned a gazillion guitars, and it's fun to go and buy guitars, and it's fun to sell guitars, and it's fun to make a couple of bucks here and there. And I like to work on them and fix them, and blah blah blah.
Having neat shit is neat.
Well, yeah,
all right.
And there's always another guitar. There's always another.
That's the problem with anything you're into, right?
Yeah, and if you in a lot of ways, if I had settled on a guitar or 2 or 5. Then I wouldn't have all that fun, at least for me, of buying and trying and working on them and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, there's always another guitar.
That's the problem with guitars. God dang it! What do you got?
Well,
You can only play one at a time.
Jeffrey Tillman says that his wife has it every time he buys a guitar.
That's a good kind of That's one that I forgot to mention too.
And then Sly Pig says, I bought a 57 Relic Fender custom shop Strat and never did like it. $3,000 for an average guitar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's funny that like the Fender custom shop things, and Spike, I don't mean to call you out on this, but because everybody does it, they always lead with the year, and it's really not the 57. It's like a 2015 or whatever, and it's just a version of the 57. Yeah.
I think, and this might be one of those cases where if that guitar was $700, you might have liked it, but because it's $3,000, you're really expecting something out of it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna actually kind of reverse my position on some of the relicking stuff, because I think if you could artificially age the color without totally fucking up the finish, then I would be okay with that.
Yeah. Yes. Some of them are actually really neat, but I know some of my favorite guitars are things that I've gotten really, really cheap that weren't necessarily, it was a good deal, and you feel like, well, it doesn't really owe me anything, and it turns out to be really great. And then you have other stuff where, like you said, for the price you paid, this better be awesome. It better make coffee in the morning for me, and it doesn't, or it's just, average or slightly above. Yeah. And you just, you decide you can't bond with it, or you're not worthy of it, or something like that. So
does anybody else have any stories about bonding with guitars, or stuff that they wish they would have bought, or shouldn't have sold, or bought and hated? There's so many things.
Bonding with guitars is a funny topic.
So here's something slightly off topic. Okay. I think maybe this is someone relatively new and needs to be indoctrinated.
Oh.
Indoctrinated. Gonna call Matt a cuckold again?
Yeah, what a prick.
That means
yeah, that's not very cool to say about someone's wife.
Basically,
come on.
He says your wife's a whore.
Yeah. But anyway, you know what? I love my haters. I really do.
Well, if you don't have haters, you're doing something.
That's right. If you're not feeding a troll. Anyway.
So Bullwhip Johnson says, have you considered...
Bullwhip Johnson, I haven't heard from that guy for forever.
Well, it's today's
lucky
day. Wants to know if you've considered selling Texas Toast guitars for 0% interest with no credit check.
Well, in a way, every musician that we deal with is like that.
That's exactly what's happening.
The difference is that, yeah. So what happens is, one of the ways that you get a Texas Toast guitar, especially one that's a custom made, that you're not one that's already done, is you put a little bit of money down and I do a little bit of work on it, and then you put a little bit of money down and then Chris does a little bit of work on it, and after, depending on how fast you feel like paying it off is how fast it gets done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some guitars could be done in, like, for example, turnaround time on Jim Fuller's double neck was about 3 weeks. And that was a super fast build. And the reason it took 3 weeks is because paint has to dry and parts have to be ordered. And that's, yeah. I don't think we could have made it a hell of a lot faster than that.
No.
But that was a fast build. And then some guitars, like Lance was talking to us, Barely Legal Lance came yesterday. And he was like, well, I remember talking to you like 4 or 5 years ago, or I think it was 4 years ago. We didn't start his guitar then, but it's been a couple of years, and it was just sort of like, well, it takes what it takes, because, one thing that slows guitar builds down more than anything is change orders. If you switch shit around because you're like, oh, you know what, I don't like white binding anymore, now I like black binding. Oh, fuck, man. Well, yeah, I can do it, but it's gonna take more time. So
because I don't have that tortoiseshell binding on hand.
Yeah, well, and if it's already bound with one thing, I have to cut all the binding off and put new binding on. So changing things up takes way longer than just saying this is what I want and run like a little boy in the field. Mm-hmm. That was one of the reasons that Jim's guitar, I think, went so fast, is because it was like, well, it's done, dude. So you can't change it. It's done now. So
yeah.
Did I tell you that Jim is ready to have his like 4th or 5th Texas Toast guitar done?
I heard rumblings about that.
Yeah.
What?
So Jim Fuller from Rifle Dynamics.
Oh yeah, that was that email.
Everyone so everyone who's like, oh, Matt has a dude crush on Brian Nutter. That's nothing compared to my dude crush on Jim Fuller. Yeah.
It's an obsession.
So Jim is our friend, and he's a super cool guy. He and Karen are like salt of the earth people, and we love them. We just sent off a Modern to him, and he's got this old, it's like one of the Jackson style V's that his wife bought for him in the 80s. And the neck kind of went south, and so we're gonna fix it, and we're gonna restore it, and it's gonna be a project that I'm really gonna enjoy doing, because Jim is a good friend of mine. So, and not like some people who go, oh geez, a good friend of ours, anyway. But yeah. So Jim is actually a good buddy of ours, and Jim, if you are watching now or later, I'm looking forward to working on that V, and Chris is too. You can tell just by looking at him. Get a load of it. Oh, dude, let's freeze frame. See, make everyone think that they're
Or do you like
the screen is frozen?
The Claus promo where they're like, El Diva.
Yeah.
And you take like 4 different poses, and
yeah, like you're talking with your hands, and then it goes back to normal.
It's like at the end of Starsky and
Except you can't start the conversation where you stop.
We should do that though in videos.
It's totally like the end of Starsky and Hutch.
It's exactly like the end of Starsky, but then it's.
I didn't know you were gonna do it. All right, maybe we can work that into.
Yeah, we'll figure out something, and it'll skip, and you'll be like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So, so buyer's remorse, seller's remorse,
Okay,
and
so
not buying remorse.
Michael Adam Kira, I'm gonna say it like that Xanadu the musical. I thought,
Ooh.
Kira. Sorry. Said he should never have sold his '88 Charvel Model 6.
Yeah.
Some of those
they're
things,
like agreeing with you.
Dude,
you shouldn't have sold it.
Dude, you shouldn't have sold it.
Oh, geez.
Some of those, and like you think, like in the '80s too, you're like, oh, there's a billion of these. I can always get another one. And then you're like,
well,
oh man.
Yeah, and there's that time period where it's just old. It's not the new hotness. It's just old.
Yeah.
And nobody's playing Charvel Model 6s or whatever it was, and nobody's playing this. And yeah, just like the old timers talk about being able to go and buy 57 Strats for $100, as many as you want, and yeah, Eric Clapton wrecked that for everybody. But I think he went in and bought up a rack of Strats and tore them all apart.
Ike from
for
Flipside
like
came in
$100
today,
a
and he was
piece.
telling us that there's this what, a 71 or 72 335
Yeah.
that he's kind of thinking about buying, and he thinks he can get a good deal on it. And I'm like, well, so what's the good deal? And he throws out this number X, and I'm like, that seems like about what they're going for. That's a good deal. And he's like, oh no, it's X times 2 is what they're really worth. I'm like, really, for a 72 335?
Yeah. Some of that stuff is, and it goes up and down, and it's kind of fickle, but
It's not like it's a Corvus or anything. What was it? Remember the
I've watched some weird guitars, and I've actually, I think, driven some prices up on some weird guitars.
I think you personally have
yeah.
in one or two instances. Yeah.
Yeah. You own 30 some Yamaha SG. Yeah. Early. Yeah. Anyway, and you're the guy that sells them. But it's just amazing what stuff will sell for. There's guitars that are 10 years old that sell now for almost double what they were new.
Silly. Yeah, come on.
And it's not like it's a limited edition. It was limited to how many they could sell.
Limited to how many we can sell.
Yeah, there's a line of Jazz Masters and Jags, the ABRI reissue stuff, the 62 reissues, that a nice colored one now will sell for $1,700 or $1,800. They were $8.99 for the longest time. I used to buy them all the time.
What was the green one that you're talking about? The forest green.
Oh, the Sherwood green. Yeah. They stopped making that color because they couldn't give it away.
Yeah, and now that one.
Yeah, and I had one and sold it for like $1,700 for it. Back when I wouldn't have paid $900 for. But anyway, it's
kooky, man.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So, and the only seller's remorse I have is stuff that if you look and it's gone up a whole lot since you sold it, you're like, oh, I should have hung on to it. But then I think about the stuff that I bought in between.
Well, and it seems like no matter what guitar it is, if it's old enough, it's, I guess.
Yeah. There's at least that
there's probably like some West Tone basses that were really cool in the mid 80s that are like, oh, those are still lame. I don't know. If anyone likes West Tone basses, tell me if they're still cool. Is there any other things we can vamp on?
Okay, so Dragon Model says that he has a USA Jackson with a 1 5/8 nut width that he will never sell that.
Is the 1 5/8 width nut?
I don't know. Is that what I did for my project guitar?
Well, we don't know. That would be the heel that we were talking about. So the nut is at the opposite end of the neck.
I understand.
And that's about like Fender kind of width. It's like, Tellys and Strats used to be 1 5/8 on everything.
I don't know Jacksons very well. Is that different or is that unique?
Well, if it's,
that would be the word, right?
If it's, it could be using the R1 Floyd, which is 1 5/8 nut. So yeah, or maybe that's just kind of a standard thing, but it's awesome and you dig it, and that's rock on.
Well, Jeff Campanelli says that his favorite guitar is the one he built himself, copied
Excellent.
Fender Stratocaster, but I hand carved the neck, and to me it plays better than the Fender.
So did you lose the Fender then?
Well,
I mean, yeah. Why would you need to keep that? Yeah. Oh boy. I think it's cool that people are building their own guitars. And I'm happy that I get emails from people and they're like, hey, check out this guitar I made, and I'm like, well, who's this? And yeah, so I don't know that I'm not responsible for anyone's cool guitar builds. I'm just some dude. You're making
facilitate.
Shit, so. I don't know that I am. I mean, I'm just,
You don't?
I don't think so.
I think you inspire a certain number of people. I mean, one guy said it exactly right. If this guy can make them, so can I.
That's right. Did we already salty comment that guy?
Yeah,
we did. Okay, yeah. I got a salty comment.
I do that all the time. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I got a salty comment from someone who said, I wish I had this because I'd call him out by name, but it was like, you talk too much. Basically, spend less time talking. He used the word baloney and some other.
I saw that one.
Okay.
That was. Yeah.
Whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I don't know what he'd want me to do. Stand there with a hockey stick up my butt.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that, dude.
Yeah. I've used that I'm as smart as this guy, or I'm as smart as those guys were back then. This 40s technology. I can figure out how to make that.
I always like to say that a person made this, I'm a person. I bet you I can figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, now I don't like to talk shit about like how, well, those old dummies, I'm way smarter than them. You know, so
Right.
the whole build it yourself if you're so smart thing was actually made for. That's the thing I stole from Cycle X, this cafe racer website, and they had like these things where, you know, kits or something, and if you were so smart, you could put it together yourself. And I thought that is such a great thing. I'm horking that, and build it yourself if you're so smart is for all those people who are, you know, like to tell me you should do this.
On that point, there's a lot of people saying thanks to you they're building their own guitars.
Thanks to me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to the lumberyard that they go to. I'm just
okay.
some
So
dude.
Bob quickly says, Matt, you're inspiring a few of us. I know. I feel your show made me say, what the hell? Go at it.
Yeah, right on. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
See.
And then, okay, wait here. So Ken Tiffin said I built my guitar because Matt, and that is fact, Eric Terra, I emailed you my first build, all thanks to you guys.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's very humbling, you guys. You're the ones who did all the heavy lifting. I just made a bunch of dumb videos. So.
And then Dragon Model, I think that was the guy that basically called me a whore.
No, I don't think that was there. That was like that guy
Oh, okay.
Steve at 76.
Thank you, though. Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you, Texas Toast.
Cool.
So yeah, yes, you and Chris both are.
Well, thank you everybody who's making your own guitars and giving me some credit that I don't deserve, because you guys did all the hard work. I just, like I said, I just talked too much and drank too much beer. So.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What are there any more on topic things that I think we'll pretty much beat that horse to death. Oh no.
So far, Blues, Sellers Remorse bought a 52 trapeze tailpiece gold top LP when I was 17 for $400. Owned it for 35 years. Say the seller price. That's the Remorse price.
No, that's a bummer.
That might be one of those deals where you go, it couldn't possibly ever sell for more than it's going to sell right now.
Until it does.
I can't imagine. Yeah. And then they just keep going.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, here's Bob Quigley's asked this question twice.
Let me guess.
About his
what compound radius is? Oh, okay.
And I kept looking. The reason, I'm sorry, Bob. The reason I didn't ask it because I looked through and you're like, ask about my Ibanez, and I'm like, oh, did I miss the question?
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and I didn't see a question. So I don't know if it's a top chat filtered something out, or if you know something like secret thing about his Ibanez or something. I don't know. I
might. Okay, so a couple of people sent me stories and they were like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to watch the thing, and I read them and my brain doesn't exactly fire on all cylinders. So if I read an email that you sent, I'm sorry guys, I don't remember, but thanks for. He's not as sticky as fly. Yeah. So I don't know. Even if his hands are glued together. What's the coolest Ibanez ever made?
The Iceman.
Oh, that is a cool one. Did they? You know what I'm thinking is I'm thinking those Yamaha SGs, not the ones that you like, but like the Carlos Santana ones, the carved top things. I think those.
Yeah, like the SG 2000.
So Bob is saying
except that's not an Ibanez.
It's a Bob.
I know, that's why I thought.
Bob is saying it's a Bob Weir Pro, which I'm sure doesn't. Do you know who Bob Weir is?
I do.
That guy?
Yeah. Okay. You know, have I ever told you my Bob Weir story?
No, and I don't.
Okay.
But he says, he sold it for $300 in 1976.
Yeah, so it was probably an artist, a Bob Weir artist Ibanez.
Okay.
Yeah, those are really neat.
The Ibanez artist art. I think, you know what? I'm going to say the Ibanez artist is my favorite one because it's that cool double cutaway shape. That's awesome.
Yeah. And they had like the Tree of Life or the Vine of Life or whatever. A lot of
sometimes
them
they did.
Some didn't.
I want to say Rick Ocasek or who's the other guy from the Cars? Elliot Easton, I think, had some of those guitars.
He's a lefty.
Dude, that. Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
He was like a college roommate of a guy I worked with, Bob Macatana.
Ooh, Elliot Easton?
One of the guys in the Cars.
Oh.
Yeah. One of those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
your car story is almost as good as mine.
My car story is better than yours because I know a guy that I know a guy.
Well, so Mrs. Texas Toast is going to go outside and smoke, and maybe this is a great time for tell my dumb Bob Weir story.
Okay.
For everybody who's
tell your dumb Bob Weir story.
When I was working at Rare Bird Guitars with Bruce Clay, there was a one of his customers spec'd a guitar that he was going to give to Bob Weir. And it was a, I'm not going to say super Strat because it didn't have a Floyd. And I believe that in order for a Strat to be super, it has to have a Floyd. But it was a Strat. And I think everything Bruce did had a bird name.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a Strato Hawk or something. And it had some kind of hippie wood, probably not unlike this hippie wood here. It may have even been that hippie wood top, you know, and it had a bunch of dancing bear inlays on the fretboard, and it was so Grateful Dead and crunchy granola. And anyway, so the Grateful Dead come to town, and this guy had not backstage passes, but he had access to Bob Weir's like party room at some hotel, you know, where like they were gonna go. And I don't know what the Bob Weir does after a Grateful Dead show, even though I've seen it one time, and I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. So we all got to go and meet Bob Weir, and he gives him. This customer gives Bob Weir this guitar. So remember, this dude paid for this guitar for just a giveaway. And he had, he was in possession of this guitar for like a few minutes and then gave it to Bob Weir. In appreciation. For being Bob Weir, probably. Or maybe something else, I don't know. Anyway, so Bob Weir's like, yeah, cool. And then like went and ate grapes and smoked dope. Whatever. I don't remember what it was, but it was something not unlike that.
There. Nice.
Yeah.
And what did the guy do?
That was probably a little bit of buyer's remorse.
Yeah, probably.
Because I would imagine that was probably a $2,000 guitar. This was 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was, neat. Thanks, dude. And that was it, you know. Now, we didn't care because we got paid, you know, but yeah, it was certainly, and there's probably all those guys they can't really go around taking pictures with somebody else's guitar. You know what I mean? No. But I would be absolutely shocked to learn if Bob Weir still had that guitar in his possession. Yeah. Or kept it more than 5 minutes after that. And or ever looked at it again. Yeah. That's. Yeah. You got to wonder kind of what the guy was expecting Bob Weir to do, though, too. Yeah. You know, I mean, come on tour with us. Be in a van, sell grilled cheese. I don't know what. Yeah, sell grilled cheese. I don't know what you do if you're on tour. He didn't get a T-shirt out of the deal, did he? I don't think so.
Kevin Tidden said that he got a thank you and a lot of acid.
He maybe. Oh wait, did he did, or the guy who had the guitar made? I don't know. I think the guy that had the guitar made. Yeah, got a thank you and a lot of acid. I think what it really was cool. Yeah, right on. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's my brush with Bob Weir. Not so great, but it might be one of those things too where Bob Weir, you know, gets approached so much and so often, and those guys get leery of anybody that approaches them with more than a hey, what's up? Well, and a guitar is a fairly personal thing, so it better be badass and exactly what you want for you to spoil an endorsement deal that you might have, or just, you know, to make you like go, oh no, I'm not playing my guitar anymore. Yeah. Remember we talked with Brad Davis at the NAMM show, and we built a handful of guitars for Brad, but I'm like, dude, I'm building your new bass for Fu Manchu, and he's like, I doubt it. Yeah. And because he you know, he's like, I get approached by people, and I think that he has a couple G&L, well, I know that he has a couple G&L basses that he loves, and I think that was some kind of deal that they had together. And Bob Balch has a Reverend deal, and Reverend wants to make the Brad Davis bass maybe one day, and he's like, I really like my G&Ls, and I just don't see myself changing them. You know, and I'm like, well, wait till you play the Soul Pole. Yeah. Who knows if it'll ever happen? But yeah, it would be a neat thing for me to build a bass that he loved. But how do you even start? You know, it's like, well, okay, what is it about your guitar that you like so much? Unlimited list of things. So yeah, you can't just like kind of try to guess what somebody likes, and especially you can't be bummed out when they don't love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So Brad Davis, if you're watching, I need neck specifications. I can't imagine, but you know, whatever. Yeah. What else is going on there, Miss Thing?
So Sly Pig said he bought an actual '69 jazz bass for $75 when he was 17.
Wow.
Talked the guy down from 100. Sold it a few years back for 3,200. No regret.
You know what? I wouldn't regret that one either. That's a good deal. I guess this is probably a good time to let everyone know that Chris and I are not priests. We cannot absolve sin. So if you bought us, a guitar for $75, we cannot. Yeah, you're still going to need to pay the piper for that.
So you think the guitar was stolen?
No, I don't think that. I think maybe a lot of bass players, like Jaco, were looking for heroin. How did Jaco Pastorius? He jumped out of a window or something, or well, I don't think that this guy was looking for money for junk, but maybe we don't know. Yeah. Yep.
Well, Eric Terra says, I'm sorry, I just came back in the room, right? So I don't know what I missed.
Probably nothing good.
It says he once dated a chick that blew some guy before him, and LOL. And I just thought that was worth mentioning.
Okay.
I don't know what I missed. Again, I just came in.
I don't know what I missed either, but it looks like Eric got some from a chick who would like to give it out. Yeah.
Green chili afterwards, because it's a perfect fucking rock star night right there. In an alley, get some good green chili.
What else we got?
Well, Faculty Links, aka Scary Cherry,
who still hasn't told me what size shirt he is, but yeah.
Well, he's seen me now.
Oh yeah, we know. Yeah.
Well, he says that he saw the Dead at Raceway Park in '74 when he was 8, and they were weirdos.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Dead, I guess.
The Dead, yeah.
Weirdos. They smell patchouli. Just
So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. We've got about 5 more minutes, and is there anything going on in the shop, Chris, that you're excited to work on coming up?
There's lots of good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing in particular.
Did we ever see? One of the things that is peculiar to me is why some Strat Jacks fit the hole and some don't. And I don't. Did you ever look at that?
I checked it, and it does fit.
Ooh. Bonus.
I think the really, really cheap ones don't fit, but maybe they do.
Okay.
I can't remember.
There's like bulge the Audi.
Yeah, I think maybe our template just needs to be embiggened just a tick,
okay,
and then we'd be solid with any of them.
Yeah,
that is a weird thing to have 2 different spec ones that.
Yeah, come on.
This one doesn't.
Come on, standardization.
China places that are selling these things to me for the cheapest price possible on Amazon, delivered the next day. Yeah.
I'm going to be pissed about it.
Yeah. Well, you just send it back and it's free. So
one thing that I want to show everybody next week is, and I don't know how far along it's going to be, is the Challenger Premier. Now, this is not the Premier of the Challenger. It's a new model that we have called the Challenger, and the model's the same, but it's the Challenger Premier is the name of the model. And it's super exciting, and we are going to be debuting it at the 2019 Summer NAMM Show. So if you're in Nashville and you're making plans to attend the NAMM Show, stop by booth 2001. You can see us. You can get your picture taken with us. Why would anybody want that?
You could get our autograph.
Hey!
We can sign your kid.
No one wants that. I'm almost positive no one wants that.
If somebody, yeah.
But I think we're going to have candy. So, come get some candy, whatever.
We're going to take candy from the Taiwanese pavilion, who always has candy, and then we'll dole it out at our booth.
I think the summer show is quite a bit smaller.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
But I think we should still have candy. Let's have something good too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not like crappy old 30-year-old Jolly Ranchers or something.
No.
Let's have something tasty. Like what? Almond Joy?
Maybe.
Candy
Mars Bar? I don't know what people like. Kit Kat? Strawberry Kit Kat. I don't know, whatever. We'll have some sort of candy.
Available in Japan. Oh,
we're big in Japan. Pineapple Kit Kat? I don't know. So anyway, if you're in the Nashville area for the NAMM Show and you can get in the door, it's not open to the public. If you can get in, come check us out at booth 2001, and we'll be telling you guys a lot more about that. Thanks for tuning in to our podcast that we do once a week, and this one about buyer's remorse was fun. You got any ideas for the next week's podcast? I got nothing. So
somebody asked, there's no talk of Dan Armstrong, and maybe next time.
Oh,
we could talk about that.
Matt does like Dan.
Oh, I could talk and talk and talk and talk and sometimes talk about Dan Armstrong.
Yeah. Do that about any time.
Well, we could talk about my love for the Dan Armstrong guitar. And you know what? I think I've talked to you in an email if you're the same person that I think you are. So maybe we can talk about that.
I have a buyer's remorse story.
Oh, okay. Well,
where it wasn't me that had buyer's remorse. It was the guy that I sold it to had buyer's remorse.
Oh, that's right. This is the story that we meant to tell.
That we were going to talk about.
Okay, so Chris is going to tell this story, and then we'll wrap it up. So I prematurely wrapped.
Well, that's fine.
This is a good story. Though.
So I had a guitar on Reverb, and it was best offer, and the guy messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the guy that bought the last one of those that you had, the really, really, really nice one I had. It was a 66 Yamaha SG. And it was immaculate, beautiful guitar, like new.
And you've owned a bunch of these
I've owned a gazillion of them. And it had the original case, all the original case candy, it came with a strap, a cloth to wipe it down, a tool kit, a cord. It's unheard of that all this stuff would be. Yeah, it was awesome, and it played awesome, and it was great. And he's like, and I'm the guy that bought that, and I love it, and it's really neat, but it might be too nice to play out. Okay. Which I kind of got, because I only took it out a couple of times and played it because it was just that nice, and you were like scared to scratch it. So I saw you have this other one. Let's make a deal. So we made a deal, and I shipped it to him, and he got it, and he's like, I got the guitar and everything's fine, but I don't think I'm going to ever buy a guitar again from you because you didn't pack it well enough. I'm like, it got to you, right?
So it got to him okay.
Yeah, it got to him okay. No damage, nothing like that. Yeah, so box was fine.
You needed to kill more dolphins.
What was the caper with it? Wasn't?
But ultimately, it could have got. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, is he upset because he got the guitar or because it didn't get damaged?
What a dude!
It was just the weirdest thing. And I've sold a gazillion guitars.
Wasn't there something like
a gazillion guitars? I've never had any issue at all.
The vintage of box that you used to wrap it up.
Yeah, he didn't like the box because it was used, and and I don't know what the box looked like by the time he got it. It was an okay box. It had obviously been used to.
But he didn't buy the box from me.
No, he didn't buy it. And I put it in a bag, and I wrapped it in bubble wrap, and blah 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 da da da. And I've shipped a gazillion things. I've shipped a gazillion guitars, tons of amps. My old business, we used to ship at least one big item a week. I know about shipping things.
I hope that guy runs out of toilet paper later.
Yeah. And
nobody else is home.
That's right.
It was just
had some really spicy green chili.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I think ultimately what happened was he got the guitar, he looked at it and went, "Oh, it's not as nice as the really, really nice one."
Which
all right.
What a dude.
But anyway, I thought that was funny.
I wanted to take it back a few steps.
Oh, okay.
And talk about the guitar behind you.
Yeah.
What's up with those crazy fat marks?
Oh, I don't know. What is it? Why are you whispering all the time on these things? Come on. Well, that's going to have to be something that we save for next time. The cuckoo fret markers on this guitar, and we're going to show you guys that in upcoming videos. If you want to buy this guitar, it's for sale. So anyway, but it's time to go. We got to go. Get Mrs. Texas Toast her. I don't know, whatever it is that brings her out of the coma that she's in, and so thanks everybody for tuning in, and we've got more videos coming next week, including an EBO Resto Mod update video. So Chris, thanks for doing the podcast with me as always.
Thanks for having me.
And Mrs. Texas Toast, thanks for doing the podcast with us too. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody, have a great week. And if you're so smart, build it yourself. And life's short, you might as well have a cool guitar. Thanks for watching.